nutritious foods while traveling? It's a question I get all the time. I get the question from health practitioners who want to counsel their clients. I get the question from my friends, my family members, and my clients and patients. And I get it all the time on social media. So what seems to happen when we travel? When we travel, we tend to like throw all caution to the wind and use it as an opportunity to overindulge and eat too much food, eat maybe at the wrong times of day, eat the wrong kinds of food. And I'm committed for myself, for my own health, making sure that that doesn't happen. Yeah, I used to do that in the past, and I'm done with that. I'm done with coming home exhausted and overweight and not feeling as good as I really want to. So I'm here today on location because I'm not at home. I'm in a condo in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And I'm going to share with you some of my travel strategies, how I make sure that I eat nutritiously, and I will add deliciously, because we don't necessarily want to just eat carrot sticks and celery sticks all day, as the proverbial, hey, how do I eat healthy? I'm going to be deprived mentality goes. We really want to learn to eat in a way that's delicious and nutritious and covers all the bases in terms of what we need. So I'm Dr. Rita Marie Loscalzo. Welcome back to the channel. I really appreciate you being here. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button. On this channel, I provide valuable information for both health practitioners who are trying to use functional and nutritious natural approaches to helping people to heal from the inside out, to activate the inner healer. And I also help people. I help lots of people who are struggling with fatigue and hormonal imbalances, and we have all sorts of videos and sources here for you. So let's just get started, okay? Well, I'm here on location, as I said, and it's a show and tell today. So the first thing you want to do is, if you have the choice of staying in a condominium or something with a kitchenette, a suites hotel, that's where I would start, because that's going to give you access to a place to gather your own food, so to speak. So many hotels, you can ask for a refrigerator even in a normal hotel room. So there's ways to facilitate you being able to go out to a store, go grocery shopping, and pick up supplies. We're staying in a resort that has condominium, so it's a beautiful, spacious place with a big kitchen and a refrigerator. But I've done this in much smaller places as well. So first of all, you want to make sure that you can make some of your own food. If you rely on going out to restaurants all the time, number one, it's expensive. But number two, they're not going to have your needs in mind. They're not going to be thinking, oh, how can I provide all these travelers with healthy foods? Usually the hotels, the restaurants, the snack bar at the pool, it's just junk food, quite frankly. Okay. So that's the first thing. If you do go out to restaurants, which that's what we did our first night here because we didn't have time to go looking for food, what we did was we went to a restaurant, and it turns out it had guacamole. We're in Mexico after all. Had guacamole with beautiful salsa on it. And then it also had salads. And I could just say, leave this off, leave that off if it wasn't within my dietary. So leave off the egg, leave off the cheese. And then they had these beautiful roasted vegetables. So we got cauliflower and broccoli. So we had a good meal the first night. And then the next day we went to the little grocery store here. It's not a huge supermarket. It's certainly not a Whole Foods or Sprouts or store like that. It's just a little actually convenience store. It's kind of like your 7-Eleven type stores, really small produce section. We got as much produce as we could. We found some spinach, we found some mixed greens, a couple of cucumbers, and of course, lovely, gorgeous avocado. You can't come to Mexico and not avocado, my favorite food. So we got some avocados, some lemons, some limes. So we could make meals here in the hotel room or in the condo as much as we possibly could. So that's that. And we made big salads. We've done this a couple of times already. Big salad. And we brought some staples from home because we know that store wasn't going to have it. So we relied on the store for the produce. So I want to show you a few things that I've brought along from home that I thought were really helpful. One is these things called coconut wraps. And you could bring coconut wraps, you could bring nori, something where you could take the salad and wrap it and make it more fun to eat. Because a lot of people get sick and tired of eating salads all the time, right? I don't, but a lot of people do. So we brought those so I could wrap my salad and make a burrito or a wrap out of it, okay? The other thing we brought from home to put on our salads is hemp seeds, right? They don't have these in the grocery store here at the hotel, okay? So this is really good, okay? And then we also brought these walnuts, and these were raw walnuts like this, but what we did was we soaked them, dehydrated them, put some spices on them to make them more interesting, and we then dehydrated them and put them back in the bag. So this is what they look like, and have a kind of Mexican seasoning. They don't look much different than, let's see if we can see it. They don't look much different than regular walnuts, but they taste divine. Okay, those are things to put on top of our salads. Okay, but we also brought something else, which I thought was unique. I eat probiotic foods every day. I teach people to eat probiotic foods every day, always talking about that good old microbiome, right? You can't take yogurt in your case when you go traveling. So what I did is I had these jars of yogurt. I use the Cocoa brand, but sometimes I make it myself. But in this case, it was Cocoa. And they have vanilla, plain, and chocolate flavored. Perfect, raw yogurt that's just made from coconuts, and that's it. These have a little bit of flavoring, the vanilla and chocolate and stevia. And so I took the jars, and I took 2 jars. Well, I took 1 jar per 2 tortillas. So this is actually a full jar of yogurt. And I poured it out on the dehydrator, the trays that, doesn't go through. You could put wax paper if you don't have those specific trays. And I put them in the dehydrator, and I dehydrated like 8 jars of yogurt before I left, because I'm going to be here for 8 days, counting the travel days. So I did that, and now I get to eat my probiotic yogurt every single day, which is delicious. And I could eat these plain, which they are very tasty. The chocolate dessert, the plain ones are good for meals. And I could actually make this. It's kind of like a tortilla. It has little holes in it, but I can slather some guacamole on it. I can put some sprouts. We found good sprouts there in the store, and then I eat it. So I got my probiotic food. In addition to probiotic food, I wanted probiotics, plus I wanted my omega-3 rich foods. And yeah, walnuts and hemp seeds are good for that, but I also wanted something I could easily put in my bag and take to the beach with me and eat on the plane. So I made these little crackers, and I'm going to try to remember all the ingredients, but it doesn't matter what all the ingredients are, because you make them different every time. What I did was I took a couple of jars of sauerkraut that we had either gotten at the farmer's market or my husband made, and I put them in the food processor, and I added to it some greens, like I think I put arugula in there. I put some celery, I put a carrot, and I put a bunch of different veggies in there. Some seaweed, I put that in there. And then I also put in some omega-3 rich foods. So I put some soaked chia seeds, some hemp seeds, and Brazil nuts, because I wanted selenium for my thyroid to help convert my T4 to T3. So I just made them into a cracker. I added garlic, and I didn't have to add much in the way of spices, because the kimchi that I put in there was very flavorful. So here you go. So this is my cracker, my sauerkraut crackers. They are delicious. Another thing I brought from home to give my meals a little bit more color and depth was I brought over these coconut noodles. Found these on Amazon. You can find them anywhere. This particular brand is called Pure Traditions, and they're coconut noodles, and it's made from coconut water. And it's these beautiful, you can see on the package if you look closely, they look like bean thread noodles. So what I love to do with this is make a little sauce to go over it and put all my greens, my salad greens and everything over it. That was my meal last night. Literally took me 10 minutes to make. So these are really fun, and they're easy to carry. They can go in your backpack, your suitcase, really. And so what I did last night, we bought a jar of tahini from home in a backpack. We packed it up, wrapped it well. And what I did was I made a tahini dressing. We had bought garlic, from the store, fresh garlic. And I put some garlic, a little jalapeno, a little bit of ginger, some lemon juice. I could put lime. We had lime, a little bit of salt. And I use this salt that I get at home. You could use any kind of Himalayan or whatever, but I found this salt. It's called green salt. And it's basically it's actually from Mexico. It's a particular seaweed that they dry and grind. It's very salty. And it's also got all the nutrients from seaweed. And I think I put a little kelp in there as well. And I made this dressing. I don't know if you can see it. It has a little bit of it's hardened up a little bit from being in the fridge, but it has a little bit of a yellowish tinge. It looks almost like a curry. And I put that over my noodles and my salad last night as a dressing. So those are some of the things that are easy to do, right? Very easy to do. In addition, I like a little extra oomph on my salad. There's this stuff called Parma. I eat it at home. This particular one is Chipotle Cayenne. They have Italian herb and garlic. They have a couple of different flavors. I love these guys. These guys sponsor our events. When we do live events in person or when we do them in online, people win prizes of these. Them in person, they used to do a little sample thing so everybody could try it out. Very cool. So I put this in and just sprinkle it on my salad for extra oomph. The other thing I brought along was some of these Mushroom Mama is one of the brands. There's a lot of brands of mushroom stuff. This is a Supreme Balanced Mushroom Tea Powder. All you have to do is pour hot water over it. It's like drinking tea or coffee. And this one has chaga, cordyceps, shiitake, reishi, maitake, and it's also got cinnamon, astragalus, ashwagandha, and faux tea. So it's got adaptogens plus all the mushrooms, really good immune support, good for energy. So I bring this and I could just make like a cup of tea, a cup of like a coffee. I don't drink coffee. I don't like coffee, never have. But I just put this into a cup. And anywhere you can get water, whether you have a hotel room that has a kitchen or whatnot, most of them have coffee makers, and you can get hot water. And you just put that in there. I like to put a little chocolate in it as a treat. You can do that, or you can not do that. A little bit of vanilla, a little bit of stevia or alohan or something to sweeten it. Now you have this really nice beverage that's really supportive and really healthy. This is all in my hotel room, by the way. I'm not at home right now. I am in a condominium in Mexico. The other thing, I'm looking on my counter here to see what else I have. Oh, so the other thing that we did, my husband made this before we came, but we also brought a jar of like artisanal almond butter. But this is a coconut. No, this is, what is it? Cashew. That's the C. Cashew and pecan butter. And he put it in the Blendtec blender with the little twister jar and made some nut butter. But we also brought along some, pre-made nut butter. So you can do that. You can take all these things by using some good packing material. We just take an extra suitcase that's just our food supplies. Number one, we save a tremendous amount of money because going out to dinner that one night, even that simple meal we had was like $65 for two people. And if we had gone elaborate, it could have been a whole lot more. So we save money. We save time. We don't have to get dressed up after a day at the beach. We just go in the kitchen and throw some stuff on a plate and we have a great meal. And we've done it in a way that it's delicious and it's nutritious. So that's the scoop. We bought this at the store here. This was a special treat. Oh, I think I do have to put it in the fridge. I told my husband we didn't have to put it in the fridge because it was too hard in the fridge, but I'm going to put it back in the fridge. But it's a specific Mexican chocolate without sugar, without any kind of milk products in it. And it's basically chocolate and soy lecithin, and that's it. Chocolate, soy lecithin, cocoa butter, and vanilla. So this is a great treat for us. I don't know if it's still in one piece. I'm going to put it back in the fridge. I thought it didn't need to be. Oh, yeah, it still is in good shape. It just feels a little. So basically, that's it. And so that's our special treat food. You may not always be able to find that. If you're traveling in the U.S., most health food stores will have something like Lily's chocolate if you really need, you want that special. Oh, I'm on vacation. I want something special. But that's the story. And then the other thing for bringing supplements along, I brought some of my like vitamin D, in my bottles, and again, wrapped them real well and put them in a suitcase. Those you can actually do carry on because they're small enough. But I got this really cool case for supplements that you might be taking that are in capsule form. I don't take a lot of supplements in capsule form at home. I like to do powders and liquids, but I have a handful of them. So what you do is you can just put them into these. They come with these little cases, these little plasticky things. You stick them in, and then you close it up and you stick it in your suitcase, and then you have them all measured out. You don't have to bring big bottles. So that's the story of eating nutritiously on the road. I think it's really worthwhile. I think it's the thing you need to be doing to take care of you. You can't just use going on vacation or grandma's birthday or your daughter's wedding or all these things to throw your health stuff to the wind, because then you're always getting started. And especially if you have an autoimmune condition where you need those enormous amounts of produce, and you need the anti-inflammatory foods, and you need to be away from the allergens like the gluten and the dairy, and of course sugar. We all need to be taking care of ourselves, and why not do it all the time, right? All the time. And the other thing that's super important is your timing. We tend on vacation, you go all day, then you go out and you're out late and you're eating dinner late. Your sleep is going to be suffering. We did that one night. It was last night. We went out because there was a concert. So we went out to the concert. We ate dinner before we left. We went out to the concert. And by the time we got back, it was 10 o'clock. But at the concert, it was the VIP seats, and they had all this food, none of which we would eat, except they had a bowl of nuts. And we're like, oh, okay, we'll eat nuts. But we'd already eaten dinner. We shouldn't have. We just were munching because it's so easy to do. And then we were like, oh, it's too close to bedtime. And neither one of us got as much deep sleep. Our Oura rings tell us neither one of us got as much deep sleep as we should have. So it affects your sleep. Make those choices. Occasionally you're going to go off track, but don't make it a habit, and enjoy your vacation. Make your vacation truly a time of rejuvenation. So there's a few comments that are coming in. So let me see if I can answer your questions and address your comments. Thank you very much for being here. Alina says it's much easier to find good produce in Mexico. No, not any more easily to find good produce than in like if we go to California, is in the US, but it's okay. It is not, it's not the best here, because if we went off site, which we would have had to have a car or get a taxi to do, they're amazing produce. Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, it's not that much easier. Thank you, Dan. Nice. Alina, Sam's Club has, yes, you have to be able to leave that. Yeah, that's great to know, Alina, because then, if we do decide to go, you have to take a taxi or you have to rent a car. So I'm just doing it right at the resort. But if you have a car and you can go to Sam's Club even, they have good produce. That's good to know. Dan's drooling. Thank you. Alina, in Mexico, 100% chocolate still has some sugar in it. That's not true of this one. It's a sugar alcohol. Yeah, so it is that way. They don't put it on the label unless the product goes on export. Well, this specifically says no sugar, and it's not sweet at all. Yeah, so I don't see any other questions. I'm going to check. My team has seen any other questions. Yeah, she's just putting the same questions, and I happen to see them this time. Yay, I'm so glad. So put your comments down below. Let me know what you think of this. Do you want more things like this that are demo? We do have in a couple of weeks, we have Dr. Anna Kabecka coming on. We're going to be in the kitchen making keto-friendly foods and talking about keto and inflammation and brain health and menopause. So really good. So thank you so much for being here. And if you're interested, let me tell you this. If you're interested in my free travel guide, I have a healthy travel guide in the below, and afterwards we'll go back and we'll find those, and my team will put in a link to it's just a free thing I put together with a lot of these tips and stuff and lists of what you could shop for and so support you in travel. I'm really a big fan of you guys being healthy all the time. You deserve it. I love waking up full of energy. I love going to bed full of energy. I love good all the time. And that's what I want for you as well. So a lot of it starts with the food. It all starts with the food. It starts with the food. It starts in your mouth. what you put in your head and how you take care of it. It's all your choice. And the better you eat, the better you take care of you. I want you to see the change, and you will. So, great. Looks like Elena wants to get that. I will give my team the link to that. I know I have to find it, but it's a healthy travel guide, and we'll happily give it to you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will see you next time. This is Dr. Rita Marie. And my suggestion to you is to make you the top priority. Stay connected to why you want to be healthy in the first place, and make that commitment and make those choices. So until next time, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.